Hey everyone, I got another project for the woodworkers. I got I don't know if you can see it in the background here, my chop saw, miter saw. Let me zoom into that. They all come with that plate insert, two-piece insert plate, and a lot of people change it out for a zero insert, which I've done several times. There's just a piece of tape on here right now to keep the two pieces together. So what I did is I took this out and I took a picture of this and then scaled it, entered it into a program and scaled it to the correct size, to the dimensions where I think it was 17 3/8 by 3 3/8 or something like that. And it gave me locations for screw holes and all that. So that's how I kind of got a template for it. A lot of people I see will make them out of like solid hardwood or something like that, which, that's fine, but they're not, as soon as, there's a little bit of damage in the kerf area, it's done. You gotta make a new one. So I designed one that you have the main body with a replaceable plastic insert, and once you have the main body, that just gets reused over and over and over, and the plastic inserts get thrown away. 1/8" white acrylic is what I use, and they screw down with some inserts, and the screws are far enough away from your blade to where you're not going to hit the screws. Okay, so this is my plan. I got all my dimensions and that. This is the main piece, and this rectangle here is like the what do you call it, dado through the piece. This piece is a 1/2 inch thick. There's some screw holes in that. This piece over here is the actual insert that's sacrificial. It'll be 1/8 inch. I'm going to use 1/8 inch acrylic. Just use white so it's opaque. So if we go over to 3D view, I'll go through the profiles here real quick. We got a V-bit. I run that first, and that's around the outside profile. It's just going to take care of the sharp edge for me. And then I'll do more V-bits for the screw holes, screw countersink hole areas, and then along where the rabbit's going to be, then there's a pocket. It gets cut out for the zero clearance insert sacrificial piece. Then some screw holes for the screws to hold it to the saw. Then there's pockets, countersink pockets, and then we'll cut that out and get rid of the garbage. And that's the main body. This piece here is real simple. It's just pretty much a rectangle with the same curvature on the top and bottom edge. And then the screw holes will be in line with these, because these are going to get inserts. These will be in line with those, and then I'm going to run a V-bit on that. Like here, it's the outside. There's the V-bit for the countersinking, and the actual screw holes are in the same position, and then the cutout profile. But that's about it. You'll see as we go along. Now this could be made out of several different things, but I happen to have some leftover Corian. Corian's a hard plastic, if you don't know, and it's impervious to water and stuff like that. It stays stable. It tends not to warp or anything like that. What else? It's really durable, but other things this could be made of. I mean, it could be made out of wood, but I want something more durable than that. Even hardwood. Maple would be pretty good, but then you have the grain to worry about. You have temperature and humidity considerations and all that. Another thing that I happened to see the other day when I was in Sam's Club, and if you have a Sam's Club by you, they have these cutting boards. I'm not sure of the plastic that's made out of. It seems like it's HDPE, but I really don't know for sure what it is. It might be a less less dense than high density polyethylene. So, but I'm sure it will work. It will scratch easier than Corian, sliding your material across it, but it should be quite durable. I mean, it's used for cutting boards, so that's got to tell you something there. And it's relatively cheap, so you could get a couple of these out of one of those boards, as long as this is like 17 and 3/8, so you'd want something around 18 inches. The width is under 3.5, so you could go by that and maybe get, I don't know, 3 or 4 out of each piece. So that'd be pretty cheap. And then on Amazon, you can get the piece here for 1/8 inch acrylic. I think I'll be able to get about 6 pieces out of the piece I ordered, and it was I think it was 20 bucks. Might be a little, $19.99, something like that, around 20 bucks, and get 6 inserts. And the inserts will last quite a long time. From here to here is going to be my finished thickness, and I'm just going to relieve the back edge of that Corian on each side this dimension. So I should be able to get it fairly close enough, I think, with this. Maybe not. I could use a depth mic to get it exact. I didn't really, it doesn't have to be that exact, but it looks like it's around 3/8. I think I'll sneak up on it. I'll take a 1/16 first and then start going in a little bit at a time. And the width, between 650 and 670. So maybe I'll just make it around 700 thou. Let's see if this side's the same. Yeah, 670. What is that? 4364. So let's see, 11/16. I'll try to stay close to that. Alright, I'll set up on the saw now. Kind of got you zoomed in a little bit. So, on 11/16 first on the height. So I'll move it over to 7/16 first and just start going from there. I know it's going to be more than that, but we'll start there. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the blade a little bit first and then check it with my calipers after I make a cut. Now, thickness, I still got to go thinner yet. Probably a good another, we'll go a light 16th, and I'm sure it'll take a little more than that. Try to straighten that out a little bit. See how that works. I might want to bevel this off a little bit on the sander first. Kind of like that. See what happens with that. Don't want to overshoot it and have to shim it. Okay, I finessed it a little bit with some sandpaper. Should work now. I noticed one thing too, that the machine surface here stops, and it's almost a 30-second, 200 or 20 thou probably, up above this surface. Yeah, that dropped right in now. So, if anything, I'm just slightly down from the machine surface, just barely. That's probably better than being high, I would think. If you wanted it perfect, I suppose you put sheets of paper under there. 1 or 2 sheets to bring it up that 4 or 5 thou, whatever that is. And it's just slightly high here because of the difference between the machine surface and the casting. one side, go forward. Nice. Split the pencil line. Makes it easy to line up. Okay, so there's the other three inserts. So I cut 4, but I had enough acrylic to cut a dozen. This took 4 took a third of the sheet, so you get 12 out of the sheet. And this sheet of 1/8 inch acrylic was 20 bucks on Amazon, so pretty cheap for the inserts, and they'll last quite a while. This last one I replaced on my other one, I'll show you in a second. If you've seen some of my other videos dealing with wood, this was the insert, well, the bad insert. Let me get that. So this insert was in there probably about 6 months or so. I wasn't really concerned with the zero clearance insert because I was doing a lot of production cuts, real quick cuts. I didn't have to line it up because I used my other jig. I can show you too in a minute. But yeah, the inserts last a long time. This one I got 5 inserts for. And if anybody's interested in the files to make their own, you know, 20 bucks for the insert material, that'll give you 12. You got to buy these screws. I got them from McMaster Carr. Or 632 flathead socket head screws. So they countersink. And then the Corian was 1/2 inch Corian that was scrap. You could make it out of what is it? high density polyethylene. Pretty sure that's what it is. So you could use that, and I know at Sam's Club, I seen a cutting board the other day. I didn't measure it, but I think it was big enough, and you probably get 2 or 3 of these out of that cutting board. Now that material isn't as hard as Corian, but it's close. I use it for cutting boards, but this is a little more dense. Take a little more abuse. But you can find Corian scraps on eBay. Pretty cheap too. Doesn't matter the color. This is just what I had. So if you want the files, I have the file for the main and this, and just email me if you want to buy me a beer. That's fine. I won't turn you down, because it did take a lot of trial and error to get this to fit right. The length and width was okay, but trying to get these radiuses is a little tricky. A lot of scrap plywood. And then the other thing, might as well show you now. I did this. I mainly made it for a project that I was going to do a lot of repetitive cuts. So it's got a tape on both sides, and like the bottom one is when I want this to the right side of the blade, and the top one is for when I want it to the left side of the blade. This will give you my dimension. Like if I put my stock up here, I read right here, vice versa on this side. This one's in line, but I had to do a little adjustment there. And then as far as installing it, I got these thumb screws that are, they're threaded for a certain point, ½ inch or whatever. These stick right through the fence holes here. Also put it on. Let's use a piece and see how close it is. Cut a straight edge first. And we want 7 inches. This doesn't have to be that. I meant to trim this back a little bit. I still haven't done it. I was going to refine this a little bit. Maybe make it out of aluminum. I was thinking about trying to incorporate some kind of adjustment right here so I can dial it in without having to dial it in that way. So that's 7 inches. Let's see what it turned out to be. It should be within a 1/16 right now, 32nd. Yeah, it's like, it might be, I don't know if you can see that. It might be just a hair heavy. Nah, I don't even think it's heavy. I think it's right on the money. So this works really good. And 2 thumb screws, bam, it's done. It's off and out of the way when I don't need it. So another thing I did, if you can see it, I have these, there's thumb screws here, and what this is for is to keep, I always had a problem with my crown stops, wondering where they're at. I need to shorten that screw. But now I got a couple, these are cap head screws. Is that showing up? Yeah, it is. So a couple cap head screws shimmed up with a couple nuts. And that way I have my crown stops always with me. So that's what happens when you get bored. You find different things to screw around with. So this saw is pretty much set up. So a couple ideas maybe for people out there that are interested. If I shorten that, or maybe a quick release or something. But for now, it's good. The cart folds up. They're not in the way. That's about it. Can't think of anything else. Like I say, if you want the file, drop me an email. I think you just click on this and that, and it'll give you an email address to contact me. There's really not much in the way of a file for this. You can see what it consists of. The T-slot is actually 2 pieces. There's a seam at 4 foot, but I got them lined lined up perfectly, so it runs right through. This is just a dado that they're inset into, I guess. This is a real shallow dado, like this one. So the surface of the tape measure is below the surface, so nothing rides on it and wears it out. These bolts here they're toilet bolts. They're 5/16 18, I think, and they were maybe 3 inches. I had like a pack of, I don't know, a dozen. Buy a dozen of them pretty cheap, and I just drilled this hole, I think, with a Forstner bit, and it fit in there really snug. I made the hole that it went into through the wood tight, and I think I added a little bit of super glue on the way in, so it stayed home. And you can see on the back here, I just got a groove in this piece to stay in line here, so when you get out here, it doesn't flop around. It helps keep it aligned. And then the T-bolt, I think that's a smaller one. That might have come from something that had a proper T-slot to it. My dogs are going nuts. It's ridiculous. Okay. Thanks again for watching. Oh! Fucker. What the fuck happened there?